Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe here with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Hey, today we're going to talk about the rising property values that then lead to rising or higher property taxes. And so it's probably something that we didn't think when our values were going up 30 or 40% a year for the last couple of years or so, that we would then that we would then have we would then lead us to higher property taxes. So it is obviously a downside, something to consider for a lot of people moving forward. So let's get into it. Before we do though, hey, if you could do us all a favor on the Rose Realty team, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@moving to Dallas. Like and subscribe to our channel. That'll help us out so that when people are doing searches and whatnot for, property taxes in Texas, and for as an example, or um, uh, uh, property taxes in North Dallas, that kind of thing, our channel will come up because we have a lot. We have a bunch of subscribers and people who like our channel. And that'll get us kind of the top of the list. So if you do that, we'd really appreciate it. It also gives you access to current and future and past vlogs and videos and movies and whatnot that we've posted up there, obviously at no charge to you. So we thank you for that, and we appreciate you kind of helping us out and supporting us. Okay, so property taxes. So over the course of the last let's just say 4 years or so, here in North Texas, there's just been this boom, right, for where homeowners have just gotten the value of their homes have just climbed, 30, 40, 50, 60%, right? But that it's also kind of comes with a nasty surprise. And that's when your town or your county or whatnot then kind of reevaluates property values. And then the property taxes then go up. One of the things that Denton did, for example, I think the city of Denton did, rather than sending people out to like do an evaluation, even a drive-by in your home, is when you bought a new home and you came into Denton from outside of Denton, wherever that may be, whether it's Texas or New Mexico, and you bought a home. They said, oh, when we as real estate agents file that paperwork, and the title company files that paperwork, then what ends up happening is the city takes that paperwork and says, okay, now this house is worth X, whatever you paid for it. Whether that's sort of a justified true market value for it, or whether you paid extra because you wanted the cash or whatever. Anyway, so now they're claiming that that's the price of the house. That then sometimes benefits your neighbor, or it benefits and hurts your neighbor. So on the one hand, if they don't evaluate your neighbor's property, then it may stay lower temporarily until they catch up and they say, well, you guys got similar houses, so we're going to raise your prices too. And then that's where the hurt comes in, where they say, hey, you haven't moved in 15 or 20 years. And so we're going to raise your taxes, overall. But they're doing it based upon the value of the house that's sold, and then figuring that the rest of the community, the values of that community have increased as well, and so basically everybody's taxes get raised. Not a great thing, but our value and our wealth is in the house, and we're paying higher taxes. So a census data from back in 2018, this was back in 2018 now, said that governments throughout the country collected, ready for this, $760 billion in property taxes in 2008, 2018. And so compared to 2018, these values are up 31%, right? On new and existing homes as well. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that these governments are collecting. So on the one hand, that's coming out of our pocket. And I hate to get on my soapbox here, but then we as citizens of that town or that city or whatever have to watch out for what our governments are using this money to pay for, because it's our money. Maybe the people of Allen wanted a $60 million football stadium for their high school. We just paid recently. It's hard for me to believe, but we passed like a $1.5 billion bond here in Denton for sports stadiums and facilities. I mean, come on, seriously. So we have to be vigilant and watch out what our governments are spending that money on, because it's our money that's coming out of our pocket. That's the end of the public service announcement. So some of the things that are limiting the property taxes, for example, here in Texas, if you're a veteran, if you're over 65, if you get Texas homestead, those are all ways of kind of keeping your taxes steady, or in some cases, in terms of the veteran status, lowering your property taxes. So talk to your agent, talk to your title company, and make sure that you're claiming everything you can that will either freeze your property taxes or the amount, and then we'll freeze the amount that you're paying, or potentially lower the amount that you're paying in property taxes. And so you have to, no one else is going to do it. Okay. And no one else can do it. Even if I'm a real estate agent, I can't make sure that I can't file the paperwork for you. You have to, but it is my responsibility to tell you, hey, you're over 65. So apply for that, apply for Texas homestead, and you happen to be a veteran, apply for veteran status as well. Okay. And so that'll all come out in our conversations, but you have to actually do that, but we can help you direct you in the right site, or get the right paperwork. This year coming up in November, there's a lot of property tax initiatives on the ballot to lower property taxes, and to hold them steady, or what percentage they can go up, that kind of thing, right? So it's real important that we stay abreast of these things, so that they just don't spend our money where some people are on fixed incomes. I mean, there's a lot of people in Texas, in North Texas, who are in 55 plus communities, who are on fixed incomes and those kinds of things. And I can't afford, if their property taxes go up 40%, they're going to be selling their house and leaving. Now, we'd like to help them naturally, but it's a shame that they would have to sell the house that they've been in for 15 years or 20 years just because the property taxes have gone too high. Okay, so we've got to pay attention to the ballot box this year. We've got to make sure those initiatives, or that we vote on the right initiatives to keep property taxes down or stable, or limit the amount that they can go up. We know that Governor Abbott here in Texas recently, they passed a bill to lower property valuations and property taxes, and that's all good. That's all good stuff, right? So we've got to make sure we know what's on the ballot, and we got to vote for the right things to limit, I guess you want to say, government overreach. I hope that was kind of helpful, even though it was depressing. Hey, next week we're going to talk about Collin County and what are some of the family friendly things that exist in Collin County. This is Steve. I am with the Rose Realty team. So long.